Survivor's ready. Go!
Travis spoken.
Boston Rob and Amber are gonna do it.
This is a business trip, as I like to say.
You, Brad Culpepper.
I'm tired of you and the fucking chicken.
You can call me the puppet master. They can be my little puppets.
It's not like you're making me deal with the devil here.
You get to milk your own milk, I guess.
Who the hell voted for me?
Chicken.
We got enough rocks here, too. We could build a pretty decent shelter just using rocks.
I'm supposed to talk glamour to you. You understand that better?
Direct from Hobart, it's time for the only Survivor podcast in Australia dedicated to Survivor, bringing you all the latest interviews, episodes, and opinions from the greatest reality show on the planet. It's Survivor Oz, and here's your host, Ben Waterworth.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to Survivor Oz, the perfect podcast to listen to on a runway or even whilst you're getting a lobotomy, because we are Australia's #1 TV and film podcast, and we got that way by purely doing those two acts. We're here for another Oztopsy, the 4th Oztopsy of the season, and we're not live, so for all you know, we have edited the shit out of this, and you wouldn't know any different, because we don't have any Guess the Song Zachary Chong, we don't have Catherine, and we don't have anybody else. They're listening, but they're not watching us right now while we're recording this. I'm actually picking my nose as we speak. And speaking of picking our noses, I've got 4 Ozlets right now who also enjoy partaking in picking boogers out of their nose, including all the way from the US of A. It's Mr. Wonky Clock, Patty G, Patrick Gustafson. Hello, Pat. Welcome back to Survivor Oz.
Quite the introduction, thank you.
I know, you never
Glad to
thought
be
I
here.
would introduce you as somebody who picks their nose, did you? And boogers in the same sentence.
And the wonky clock, too. I don't know.
Yes. And I also think I stuffed your name up, too, as I did everything wrong in that introduction.
I didn't even hear, to be honest.
What's new?
That's all right, that's all right. Speaking of what's new, you heard his voice. Noah Groves is back. Hello, Noah.
There you go.
Well, how are you?
Yeah, pretty sad, actually.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty sad, actually. We'll get to that. Also joining us direct from Adelaide, it's Ryan Qualifying Lap. Ryan, welcome back.
Hey, gentlemen. Good to be here.
It's good to have you back. How's life treating you in the city of churches? You got any new churches this week?
Not that I've seen. Pretty much the 100 churches we already had before.
I always question the title of City of Churches, because every time I've been to Adelaide, I don't really see that many churches. So
I don't think I saw any when I was
Probably looking in the wrong spot.
bit of false advertising there. Speaking of false advertising, it's Julian Gronenberg. Hello, Julian. Welcome back.
Hello, I don't really get that segue, but good to be here. I don't know what a lobotomy is either, but I think it's a medical procedure. So that was interesting.
Google it. Look at the
okay.
images, maybe.
Sounds
maybe not
delicious.
images.
Yeah, no
Yes.
images.
Yes.
I can't even watch like those medical shows when they cut people open and sew them up. Give me Survivor.
I'm glad they sew them up afterwards, like you're not watching a slasher film or something.
Yeah, very considerate. Very considerate.
That would
Yes.
be a unique slasher film where he tries to mend the people that he cuts up.
I'm going to kill you!
I'm
And
sorry.
then-
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to.
Anyway, this isn't Slasher
Starring
Oz,
Billy
it's
Garcia.
Survivor Oz. Hashtag bring back Billy. And we're all sad because Varna's gone and fucking Woo's still in the game. Let's just start off with generic thoughts on this episode. I'm going to start with you, Julian, because this is your first Oztopsy of the season. So, yeah, give us your thoughts on this episode, and you can also mention what you've been thinking this season too, if you like.
Well, I have been loving this season, Ben, and I did enjoy this episode. I was sad to see Varna go, but I still thought it was a really good episode. And I'm starting to feel like it is, though, getting to be a bit Abby Maria's like Russell Hance of this season. It's just like, whoa, Abby, like there's so many other people I want to hear from by this stage. But I'm still loving each episode. I'm still like guessing all the way up every episode so far up until Tribal Council who's actually going to go. I haven't been expecting it. It's been really unpredictable, and that's good. So I'm enjoying it a lot. There's some things that I'm like, but on the whole, sad to see Varna go this week. But he had a pretty good run considering, I reckon.
Ryan, what's your take on this episode?
Yeah, I really love this episode. It was amazing. Some of the challenges, it was quite brutal. It's really fascinating to see how much the elements are really starting to come into play. We did hear a bit pre-game that Cambodia was meant to be really rough, but yeah, we're really starting to see those elements take a toll on the contestants.
Mr. Paddy G?
I have mixed feelings on this episode. I really am enjoying the season, but I think this is probably the worst of the first 4 episodes. I'm just, sick of seeing the same people, and we're missing almost half the cast. Out of the 16 people left, 8 of them haven't even been to Tribal Council, so we haven't seen any of them. But overall, I was just absolutely stunned by the outcome. Stunned. I cannot remember being that shocked by a vote.
Okay, Noah?
I kind of agree with Paddy G. I like the season, but this was my least favourite episode so far. I think there was a lot of things wrong with it. Not necessarily because of this episode, just the have-nots twist is one of the most ridiculous twists in Survivor history, because it just means Angkor is going to lose every week. And we're not going to see the other people, as Patrick said. It's going to be predictable. So that was really frustrating that they lost, especially after Savage winning Hero Jewel, which I wasn't a big fan of, or not Jewel, like True. Wasn't a huge fan of that. And yeah, we're just missing. So I think I read it was like 8 people or something didn't get a confessional this week or something.
7.
Like so many people. Yeah, 7. I know that confessionals aren't the be-all, end-all, but we really did not hear from a lot of people this week. As I said last week, give me my Kimmy, give me my Wigglesworth, give me my Keith. There was a whole segment on Kelly Wigglesworth that we didn't even have her chime in at all about it. So it was an alright episode. It had a decent tribal council. I enjoyed that. Very upset with the outcome of the vote, but while it's a good season, I'm just having bad feelings about a lot of the stuff that's happening here.
I think we should talk about the unimpressive editing, I guess. I mean, 7 people on an all-Stars season not getting a confessional. I mean, yeah, it's difficult, obviously, to keep people, happy with an even spread, and considering that we've got one tribe sucking balls, one tribe sort of winning a lot, and then you've got Takeo. It's interesting. I mean, looking at Heroes vs. Villains, in the 4th episode, we had 6 people not getting confessionals. In All Stars, in the 4th episode, we had 2 people not getting confessionals. Now, okay, give it
difference.
All Stars, yes, had 2 less people overall. Realise that, but I mean, even Heroes vs. Villains, I guess you would argue, would still be there. But I mean, still, we've had 7 people now in this episode. I mean, Noah, we started off so well. Why do we have to have this, such jolted editing? Is it just simply purely because we have one tribe that is sucking, or do you think that's not an excuse?
That's definitely a reason. You're onto something there, but I also say it's not an excuse. Of course, Jeff Probst's excuses are always like, you need to tell the story, blah, blah, blah. Fuck that, I say. I was tweeting in anger today, in all caps, of that idea, because we voted for these people to be on, and we haven't seen any. I voted every day, fake accounts and all, for Kimmy Kappenberg, Keith Nail, and Kelly Wigglesworth, amongst others. Like, there were 7 of them, and then a few people who were heard from, but very minimally. We voted for them, so that should be even more of a reason. But I think I've said in the past, there is zero excuse, because you just read out the All-Stars one, and I'm sure if you read out other things from the first 7 seasons or so, I know it's a different period, but they did it perfectly fine of capturing the story while still showing everyone, like, yes, like, Spencer's great and all that, but show us some other people, especially as those tribes aren't going to tribal council, so why don't you show us a Keith moment? Like, because they're not going to tribal council, don't show us the same person every time. Don't show us Jeremy every time, because he's not even going to tribal council. Show us a bit of Kimmy and Kelly. I don't think there's any excuse, and I think it's really putting a damper on this season if it continues. I reserve judgment for a bit, but there's my rant on that over. I hate it so much.
Well, I'll get everybody's opinion, but just quickly going back on the old school thing there, I mean, no excuse. Borneo, 4th episode, everybody got at least one confessional. Australia, only Elizabeth missed out. Africa confessional in the 4th episode. You'd have to skip to Marquesas and then only 3 people missed out. So, I mean, I'm not going to go through every single season, but like All Stars, the 2 people in the 4th episode that didn't get it was Colby and Sue. 2 people that realistically at the end of the day didn't have too much to say on the overall factor. You look at Heroes vs. Villains, though, this is where it's interesting. The people in the 4th episode who didn't get confessionals. James didn't get any, that's no big loss. Courtney, yeah, probably no big loss. Danielle, who... she was a fairly big factor in that season. Didn't get any. Rupert? Yes, that's right. Rupert went an episode in Survivor where he didn't get a confessional. Jerry got none. And the key one here in the 4th episode of Heroes vs. Villains, Sandra and Parvati didn't get a single confessional each. So maybe there's hope for Monica and Kimmy.
Hero challenge is also a factor why 7 people missed out this time. But still.
But I think it's to do with the 3-tribe format as well that's making it hard to show everyone. Like, even though I like that they've gone to 3 tribes, like, it is a different period. I don't think you can compare it to, like, the first, 10 seasons so much because the storytelling is a lot quicker now, and so they can't focus. Like, if a lot of these players aren't saying anything particularly interesting, it is just a waste of time in the episode where so much else is going on. So,
but haven't they been able to balance that, though on 3 tribe seasons?
Yeah, but Cagayan, though, was quite good.
Even Philippines here,
yeah, but they only had balanced. 18 people. Cagayan only had 18 people as well, so I don't know. I do agree with you. I want the same thing. Like, I want to see more, but it is still only week 4, so yes, we definitely start needing to see Kimmy now and Keith more and other people. But when one tribe hasn't gone to tribal council, like 8 people, it is hard to sort of show everyone, and especially when there's 3 tribes as well. So I can kind of get why it is like how it is.
One thing I'll just quickly add, though, going based off that, I think even though with Heroes vs. Villains, the one thing that you could say with it, that putting confessionals aside, you still felt like some of those people were present. I mean, yeah, okay, we only had 2 tribes, but, like Danielle, for example, didn't get many confessionals, but she was still there. She was still present. Like, you never felt like, oh, where are they? I think it's very, in all of Heroes vs. Villains. Whereas this season, this episode, we see Takeo, the only focus is on Cass and Kelly. We got basically nothing of Keith, nothing of Joe. I mean, God, women this episode were like, well, they didn't know what to do this episode. Like, where's Joe gone? Like, it was just, they were so invisible. You didn't even see them in challenges. I mean, even Kimmy, who's yelling her ass off, like, you didn't even see that. So, anyway, I'm ranting. Now, Ryan, what do you think of how this has all been portrayed so far?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. I think the big thing is that obviously we've got the Angkor tribe, and a lot of the people from that tribe have been on the losing side a lot. So we're really focusing on those people, and I think that's probably affecting how much we're seeing from the other tribes. What I found interesting is probably from this episode as well, it's the first episode in this season where we've had 2 challenges. So we had the reward challenge and the immunity challenge, and I just noted that the challenges themselves seem to go for a long time in the show. I don't have a count on how many minutes they were, but they did seem to take up a lot of time, which is taking away, I guess, from telling the story and telling the narrative. But really, they just focused on the Angkor tribe and a bit of Bayonne, which is interesting, possibly setting up a narrative for the next episode, potentially. Maybe some conflict between Spencer and Monica and Kelly Wigglesworth. So it'd be interesting to see where that does lead.
Patty G?
I think it's a bit of a step back because of a reason people praised Worlds Apart was for character moments and character development. I think that's a load of shit, but this season there's pretty much been none of that at all. I mean, we get Keith, the sole reason he's basically there is for comic foil, and we get none of that. All the entertaining people, we get none of it. It's just all game bots right now, and then all these emotional moments. I hope it gets better, because at this point, I don't know. I'm a bit pessimistic right now.
Well, it's so fascinating how we're talking about this and being so pessimistic about it, because we started off talking it up so well, how it was edited so beautifully in that first episode, and I even think bits in the second episode, like there was a very fine balance we all said sort of between the new school and the old school. But now, I mean, the people who didn't get confessionals this episode, Sierra, Joe, Keith, Kelly, that is Wigglesworth, Kimmy, Stephen didn't get any, wow, and Terry, Dietz. He was too busy being big and long.
Stephen Wigglesworth and Dietz were all vital parts of this episode. They all had something to do with them, and we didn't hear from any of them.
Well, it's fascinating how it all showed out, and particularly Takeo, like mentioning before Cass and Wentworth, like, we were good, 10, 15 minutes in before we even heard from Takeo. We got, the opening bit was with Angkor, then we got to Bion, and then we went back to Angkor, then we had the challenge, then we were back to Takeo, and all it was a nice little scene with, Cass, oh, I'm not Chaos Cass anymore, and Kelly, oh, she's Chaos Cass, she's making a fake idol. Oh, it's my birthday, oh, how sweet. Like, it was a nice little moment, don't get me wrong, it was better than Spencer saying he can't say I love you, but, like, I feel sorry for, like, this is the Joe Golden Boy tribe, and now we're just getting the, I'm not Chaos Cass anymore, and let's keep Kelly relevant, because clearly she's going to go far in the game edit. So, anyway, Takeo, let's talk about Takeo right now, because there's nothing there to talk about, anything more than I just added. Noah, Takeo, we just covered it, didn't we?
Yeah, well, you pretty much did a good job there, because I'm pretty sure that was the only moment, but yeah, Dietz was a big part of that challenge, and again, Keith, show me my Keith. But the Cass stuff is interesting. Like, I think I'm naming her Cuddly Cass now rather than Chaos Cass. But yes, so she is one who is really showing a change in her gameplay. But at the same time, I think I wrote in my power rankings, I'm calling her Cautious Cass. And I think, to quote Vince Slice, I just feel like she's being fake. Like, I'm not sure if I'm buying this. A lot of people online were, oh, Cass is going to win the game now. And I like that they're showing a different side, but it's not making for particularly entertaining TV. I just feel like once they get to Tribal Council and they have to start scheming, like, compare this to Cass's Luzon days where she went to 3 of the first 4 tribals. Now she's gone to 0 of the first 4. So, of course, she's going to be happy-go-lucky Cass. But I'm not sure if I'm buying it. Maybe she will be changed, but I just feel like we will eventually get Chaos Cass. And if anything, I'm hoping we get Chaos Cass, because I voted on Chaos Cass, not Cuddly Cass. So it was definitely an interesting scene that I loved. That, no, don't come over here. It was quite funny, Wentworth's face. So I enjoyed the scene, and it's definitely something to at least write about in regards to Cass, but yeah, I'm not sure if I completely buy it.
Well, do you think that do you think that is just included for either the fact that we just need to see some Takeo and that's all that was worthy this week, or was it setting something up that, oh, she's going to go down that slope again and Kelly's going to be the one to call her out on it, if you know what I mean?
Well, a good thing you pointed out was showing Kelly because she's relevant. So maybe this scene was in there because it's like, hey, this shows Cass and Kelly. We'll put this one in, like, because it was directly involved with Kelly. Like, she got a birthday present, so it could be to do with that. But yeah, I think it's either setting up, hey, she changed and now she's turned on me, or it's setting up, hey, she really has changed. But either way, I don't think Cass wins this game at all. That's just my opinion.
I would agree with that. I love Cass. I love both sides of Cass. But yeah, Julian, I know you're a mad Cass fanatic. What are you thinking of this scene?
I loved this scene so much, and I think you can only say at the moment, like, yes, she hasn't gone to Tribal, but she is playing a very, very good game, and she has to have credit for that, because I think when she is calm, it'll be interesting to see if she can, like, she's going to have to strategize later on, like, but I think she's laying a really good groundwork with the people to have an alliance this time and go deep. Like, I don't think she'll have to play the same game as she did in Cagayan, because she sort of seems like she's got a bit of a posse. Like, she's in with Joe. Like, I think she's playing really, really smart. Like, by, even if it wasn't sincere, by doing that thing for Kelly. Like, even if it doesn't work for Kelly, it seemed like the other tribe members thought it was really good. And yeah, like, she's just glowing in the edit, so it's really interesting. Like, and I mean, I love when Cass goes Burko and starts flipping out and everything too. But I like that her narrative arc could be potentially changing. Like, over 2 seasons, what a great story to have, like, psycho bitch and then reformed Cass. So yeah, it's really good.
Hashtag Burko. That's the
Burko, yeah.
Hashtag psycho bitch.
Ryan.
Hashtag reformed Cass.
Ryan, what do you think Cass is going to go Burko?
I'm still not sure about if she'll go Burko or not, but she's been really, she's been really, I guess, catatonic this season, and we really haven't seen a lot out of her in terms of, I guess, that strategizing because she hasn't faced any tribal councils yet. So it'll be interesting to see how she does play once they do finally go to a tribal council and where she lands up in her tribe. I agree that I think she's in a positive position within her tribe for the moment. Which is really fascinating because once they get to a merge, she's not really a threat. So we could be seeing a long game from Cass.
Paddy G?
Yeah, just to add on to what you said about them showing Kelly Wentworth just to possibly show that she has longevity, I think they did the same thing with Cass in terms of, it seems like every week or so they're showing a moment of her potentially changing. I don't know if this, again, it could lead to her completely changing, or it could lead to her seeming as if she's going to change just for her to go Burko, as Julian said, and I think it'd be much more interesting to see her lose her mind than be changed, to be honest, because that's what Cass is for.
Just quickly, I mean, we don't sort of really like to speculate too much on the previews because generally they're not really that accurate. But we've got the scene next week where they say, like, I think it's Keith, like, there's the final five right here. Like, who are they excluding on
He's saying that too, yeah.
Is Dietz gone?
Dietz.
Or Dietz, do you reckon Dietz is the one not in that five?
Well, I don't know for sure, but that's just my guess because he wasn't there in the clip. As you said, previous suck, so who knows?
Anybody else have anything to chime in on that? Who might be the mysterious person not in the five? No?
At least we know we're getting a Keith and Kimmy confessional next week.
Yeah, we're getting Final Five and Snake in the... What did she say? She's
Episode 5.
All we need is Wigglesworth. I'm getting a Kimmy and Keith, and next week will be the best episode this season. And Woo goes home.
Well, based purely on the fact that looking at those confessionals from Heroes vs. Villains, that up until this point of the season, Sandra had only had confessionals in the first episode and then didn't get confessionals, I think, to episode 9. Wigglesworth can still win this game, so I'm happy with that.
But she was on a tribe with Russell Hand.
Well, true. Now, again, we've covered Takeo. We can cover Bayon pretty much in one go as well. Jeremy looked at his idol. Spencer was trying to sell out Wigglesworth, and Monica was suspicious. There we go, covered it. Ryan, Bayon, anything to add there?
No, you think you pretty much covered it. I like the scene with Jeremy when he's talking to Fishback about being his new JT. I thought that was really a good insight into how Jeremy's seeing Stephen in the game, and I like that he was continuing to make Stephen go look for the idol despite having it in his pocket.
I like that little scene, and it's funny how, a couple of weeks ago, we had Stephen being all like, is Jeremy looking for the idol? Oh, he's trying to sell you out, blah, 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 blah. And now Jeremy's actively with him going, hey man, it's up there in the tree. And we got a Mike mention as well, so there you go. We're like, did we already have a reference earlier this season to another person? Because our pre-season question, I think we did. Anyway.
Maybe Laura Morat, Dale, what's his face? Dale Wentworth.
True.
Laura Morat, Aris Bushkauskas.
True.
Abby hitting Scoopin with a coconut.
Yep, true. All right, okay. Never mind. I just didn't watch the first episode. Pat, Bayon, yep, we covered it well with the Pinkies.
Again, not much going on. We saw Monica, which is... I didn't know who it was.
Yes, I didn't know who that person... Yeah, who was she? Sorry, Monica didn't you say her name was.
Like, when did they bring Mary back?
No, just the one little
Alexa?
thing that just got... The one thing that just got me mad was that Kelly Wigglesworth didn't write Spencer's name down. Like, that just made me furious. Like, Spencer, come on. She voted for Shireen. I don't know, that's just me nitpicking. Don't listen to me.
Okay, right. Sorry, I didn't know if you were still going on there with an angry point or not. Yeah, it's kind of interesting sort of going back on our little discussion from last week, Noah, how we were talking about sort of... I seriously want to get your viewpoint on kind of how Spencer was playing that, because obviously last week you thought Kelly wasn't playing that too smartly. And I sort of mentioned, well, they didn't then put in a confessional about, oh, Kelly's been, but obviously this week it was maybe not the same situation because they're not throwing him under the bus with an idol, but a sort of similar situation. And then this week they included a confessional from Monica going, oh, I don't know what Spencer's doing. So, I mean, what's your take on kind of how Spencer was playing that and how that was all portrayed, considering what you said last week?
Yeah, more Spencer, hooray. Kimmy is on this tribe, by the way. Did I mention that? Firstly, I'll just quickly point out, Jeremy still he didn't have a dud idol either. Like, when are they bringing in this...
Keith is going to find it. Keith is going to find it.
This looks like a Jack in the Box. Like, what is the dud idol going to be? Like, and then the JT stuff was interesting. I think I wrote in my power rankings that Steven is becoming the Steven of this season, where he's the number 2. And he's in an okay position, but he's not in the best in terms of gameplay because Jeremy's hiding.
His edit's kind of been a bit, not really a dodo edit, but it was in the first 2 episodes, and it's still not good.
It's just an anomaly, really.
Yeah.
But on the Spencer stuff, yeah, they're just showing so much of Spencer. As I furiously tweeted and said at the top of this show, is a whole segment about Wigglesworth. And we don't even hear from her, which is not a good sign at all. I think it could be maybe not setting up Spencer going home, but maybe setting up doubt if Bion loses next week. And it's like, will it be Spencer? But yeah, it was a strategy confessional from Monica. Like, she hasn't had one of them before. Like, her first one was like, oh, this camp is really fun, or something like that. So, yeah, I was wondering, are they setting it? Yeah. Like, do you think they're setting up a Monica breakthrough, or is that just there purely to put doubt that Spencer may go home? But I still think Wigglesworth is in a worse position. And but again, Varna did mouth Monica and Kimmy to Wigglesworth, so maybe she will get an all-girls alliance going. That would be glorious. Girls versus boys on Bio.
I will just quickly say, I mean, it was a strategy confessional from Monica, but I did have to laugh when she's like going on about like, and if all the girls get together, we can be like girls alliance, which would mean that the boys would get together and be in a like that's how it works.
Yeah, it's like we want girls to go up and boys to go down.
That's I had to just sort of laugh how that was, but I don't know. Like, it's interesting you say, is that kind of like the rise of Monica confessional? Like, here comes the Monica train. Everybody, choo choo, get on board.
Jacqueline was similar in the beginning of San Juan del Sur.
Very true. That's very true. I know which one I'd rather ride, but it's
Ben.
I don't know. I think when it comes down, get your mind out of the gutter, Noah. Like, whatever. I think it's more to set Spencer down, in my opinion. I don't know. Julian, you haven't talked about this bit. Talk. I've thrown off.
I think Spencer's my pony, and I hope he doesn't go home, but I think even though it seems unlikely, I think they're setting this up for next week because Bion goes to tribal council. Even though that seems unlikely, I feel like that may happen, and if that happens, yeah, I sort of feel like Spencer is on the chopping block, but we'll see. Maybe Jeremy and him can
Spencer
sort of work it.
Blindside would be amazing.
All right, we've covered 12 people this episode. Let's cover the rest. That was pretty easy. I'll talk about the challenges, though. I mean, I kind of going back to what we were saying about how having a reward challenge takes away from the overall sort of screen time, and I definitely agree with that. I personally, though, like this challenge. I like a reward challenge, and I like the fact that it was a hero challenge. It all came down to one person. My only questions about it is the people that they put up. Mind you, though, Jeremy was one who lost, so I guess I can't really talk. But, when they put Savage up, I'm thinking, wouldn't you put Woo up? You put Deets up, wouldn't you put Joe up? And then Jeremy, that's the obvious choice. But funnily enough, the obvious choice lost. So I guess our points are moot.
we did say in the San Juan del Sur Oztopsies that Jeremy actually, for how muscly he is, isn't a great challenge performer. He's decent, but I think people think just because he's so muscly, oh, it's Jeremy, yeah, he's the really... But remember the individual ones in San Juan del Sur? He sucked it.
That's a good point, actually. Julian, did you like this challenge, the hero challenge, and kind of how it all
I did. Out? I thought that was I thought it was an awesome twist. Like, I did not expect that at all. And I didn't expect, I was like, what? Why is Joe? It seemed weird that it just conveniently was all three older guys. I don't know. Like, I can sort of see it happening naturally too, but I was like, oh, okay. Like, I'd like to sort of see them sort of decide that a bit more. It's just so quick, and it's like, oh, okay. But it was an awesome challenge. They seemed pretty weak though. Like, it just, the elements must be really just fucking with them by this stage of the game. So yeah, I liked it a lot. And yeah, no, it was good. Savage annoyed me a little bit though, I have to admit.
Made you a bit Burko?
Well, it's just when he's like, oh, I played college football, and, you know, like...
Crybaby Anders.
Yeah, it was sort of like, oh, God, sort of, here you go again. I don't know.
Like, I was watching this thinking, oh, Noah's going to be whinging about this. He doesn't. Like, I'm nothing against Savage. I'm on the feel sorry for Savage train. I like Savage.
He's so whinge. He's taking Jeremy's role of being the whinger.
He is whingy. He always, yeah.
He's old. He needs, like...
Yeah, he is becoming the old fogey, complainy guy.
One thing quickly, right, I'll get your thoughts next, but Jesus' Angkor is very pro-woo. Did you not see them clapping when they're, like, cheering on Savage, and they're going, woo, woo, woo? Like, he's not even in the challenge, guys. He's right next to you.
Tish.
Come on, that was funny. Right in the challenge.
Yeah, I really liked the flashback. I don't know, they've done a couple in this season flashing back to previous seasons, and I was just thinking the last time they did this, I think it might have been Samoa, but yeah, it was really interesting to see them go for a hero challenge in this game. I liked when they filmed it as well. It must have been, I don't know, early in the morning or late in the afternoon, because the way that the light was reflecting, it was really fascinating that it must be just so hot during the day that they're forced to do some of these challenges either really early or really late in the day.
Paddy G?
I just didn't really get it, because this is the season of second chances, but like, whose second chance is that? It's Jeremy's? Jeremy won his hero duel. The challenge itself was actually pretty decent. I didn't mind it, but it just didn't make much sense to me in the concept of second chances.
I like the challenges because it didn't have puzzles in it. But yeah, and also one thing quickly, like, I guess because Angkor won and we'd already seen enough of them, we didn't see them enjoying the sausages. But what was the second prize? Was it just a capsicum and a fry pan?
A single capsicum.
Like, is that literally what it was? Because, like, Probst is all like...
It really is going down.
Well, it was like the first one, like, sausages, vegetables. And then, like, the second one is like, second prize, still pretty decent. Third prize, you get nothing. Like, it just looked like
I'll
a capsicum.
take the nothing over the one capsicum. That's like the capsicum cocktails.
I know, I'd be happy for the fry pan. Like, oh, a fry pan. Like, that's pretty good. Noah, you didn't sound like you liked the hero challenge?
I like the actual challenge. Like, they use this on All Stars. I remember that. I just thought it was weird that they randomly did this. Like, again, we wrote all these people off. Let's see Wigglesworth dominating a challenge with people. But yeah, I did like the challenge. I thought it was quite dramatic with Deeds doing well, and then Jeremy's there, Savage is behind, but then the comeback. So that was good. But again, I'm so anti-reward challenge on All-Star seasons because I need to see these people. I'm sounding like a broken down record now, but like it was entertaining, like that's for sure. It was probably better than the immunity challenge. But I want to see these people and I want to see their strategies and their funny moments. And it's a good 10 minutes out of the episode. So I'm anti-reward challenges on All-Star season.
What about, though, like, on All-Stars, how when they had to, kidnap Kathy and they went in the boat and, fun little things like that?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Maybe not anti-reward challenges in a whole, but just especially when you're in 3 tribes. Like, maybe if they kept it as just a KO and Bion, then sure, do a reward challenge, but there's just so much to get through.
Couple of things to note. I love the music in this challenge. The start of it sounded like a Pirates of the Caribbean theme or something like that. It was epic music.
It's the Savage Second Chance theme.
The pirate theme, yes. And we've got to mention Probst's lovely little comment, Deets, big and long! We're all childish.
And he wasn't even talking about the challenge.
Exactly. If he said it about Savage, it would have even been even more funnier.
Savage, even longer!
And Boston Rob, even longer.
But of course, I already knew that.
The other challenge, we get lovely little big pieces and getting knocked out and everything like that. We got the random ow, ow, ow montage, I want to call it, because like it was just, oh yeah, standard challenge, and all of a sudden Probst is like, this challenge will kick your butt, and then we just get ow, 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 like they edit it all together. We just needed Ross Sestandino to step in and go, damn it! And I did love Keith, like, I can't hear you. I love Cass, I'm yelling at someone else. Which was funny. I was just, the only bit I was disappointed about this challenge was the fact that we have Kimmy freaking yelling again. We saw, I think, her yelling once. Like, this is Kimmy. She's perfect for this challenge. Like, how are we not seeing her? Like, yelling every 3 seconds. And at the end of the day, Encore lose, Bion and Takeo win. Nothing new there. Noah, this challenge.
I like this challenge. Don't you just feel it's a bit overused though? Like, they used it in Kaguya and Worlds Apart. So I just feel like it's a fun challenge, but maybe have like a 4 or 5 season gap between it, because it's just like, oh great, this challenge again. But it was entertaining. I feel like this is probably one of the worst versions of this. There was no like bleeding people or anything like that, and there was no All Stars, as you said, with Rob C's reactions or anything, Big Tom and all that. But yeah, I was just thinking during this episode how, like, they always talk about how annoying Probst is in challenges, but this would take it to the max, wouldn't it? Because it's like Kimmy's trying to yell, and it's like, Kimmy is trying to yell over the top of people. Shut up! I think Jeff Probst would be the most difficult thing about this challenge. It's like, Keith, can't hear! Like,
I can't hear you because you're talking, Jeff!
Yeah, like, he seemed really especially annoying in this one. Yeah, Joe literally carrying the blocks on his back, that was a bit like, and Joe, another one! Joe, big and long one. Yeah, whatever. And then Encore just kind of not giving up. Again, I think someone said about how like worn out they are. This tribe, like Abby was asleep. Jeff wasn't even getting the puzzle pieces, and he was out of it. Like all he had to do was yell, and he was like completely on the ground almost. And more Crybaby-itis Savage. So it was decent, but I wasn't in love with it. It had its moments. I was just pissed off Encore lost once again. But it was decent. And then Andrew, like, oh, I can't do this. Oh, no. But, yeah, anyway.
I did love Wu when he took his buff off. Oh, it's so bright! Like, I mean, that didn't sound anything like Wu, but, like...
Yeah.
just that one bit when you just hear him, he's like, oh, so
Abby,
bright.
I can't see. It's like, why can't you see? You just took it off.
Patty G?
I really liked this challenge. I mean, I thought there were a lot of just really funny things happening. I thought it was really bizarre. I don't know if anyone else, but it seemed like Jeff was like talking to us, the viewers, as opposed to like, he was like, it's very difficult to find these pieces. There are 60, and instead of like 16 of these pieces, you gotta. And my personal favorite part was when Spencer got clobbered. He yelled, "Watch out! They're blindfolded."
That's a good point.
Nobody.
Oh, sorry, keep going.
Watch out! And then Keith is just ridiculous. That was good enough for me. That's what I needed from Keith. Is that like, oh my god, I had something else. I lost it. Oh, and then Terry Terry is like the guy who's alone at a party. No one wants to dance with Terry, and he's just standing there like flapping his arms and literally like the middle. And then Abby's just walking around flapping around looking for Savage, who's like dead on the block. And
that was such a bizarre metaphor from Jeff.
Poor dude.
The lonely guy at the party? What?
He was big and long before, now he's the geek in the corner.
Yeah, I thought he was big and long. What happened?
Oh, goodness.
I really got my hopes up that either Takeo or Bayan would lose, but then just disappointment. I mean, it wasn't like Angkor got demolished and it was no competition, so I guess it wasn't like a Matt Singh. It was, they were in it and then they just fell right out of it. But, the challenge itself is decent. They do use it a little bit too much, especially recently, but I really enjoyed it. It was probably my favorite part of the episode.
It's interesting, kind of. I'm just looking at the amount of time they've actually used this challenge. It's heaps, but like in the few challenges we've had this season that have been on previous seasons that people have played it before, Jeff is always quick to mention, like, Kelly did this in season 1. Like Varna did this in the Australian Outback, and Kucha won that. Stephen did it, and Yalapo won that. Whatever that tribe he was on. Cagayan, Wu won it, and that's it. And Worlds Apart, Joe won it on that season as well. So they didn't do any previous mentions of that. One bit quickly, I really loved when Tasha got like sandwiched and she fell over like a soccer player diving. She was like, "Meow!" Like somebody needs to add like a boo. As she like falls. Not that one. Ryan, what did you think of the challenge?
Yeah, I really liked the challenge. It was really good. The contestants really looked like they were competing on day 38 and not day 11. It was absolutely brutal. Most of the stuff has already been said, but I liked a quote from Jeff Probst. He's talking about Angkor at the end of it, and he's saying, "Angkor, literally sleeping on the pieces," which was, so they're just passed out pretty much. So, it was a really good challenge overall.
This has been used on every season of All Stars. So it was used on All Stars of Heroes vs. Villains, and now this one. Julian, anything to add?
Oh, it's just brutal. Like, I just think this challenge, seeing like all the stacks and everything, was pretty good television, but like it wasn't like it was not close. Like I thought Angkor was they just fell apart at the puzzle, so that was kind of disappointing because then I had a pretty bad feeling that Varna was going home, and I was like, oh god. So even though I was still sort of guessing right up to the end, it was a challenge that I don't need to see again, definitely.
All right, well, we get to Angkor. They lose. We haven't talked about them really this episode. I mean, bits earlier, of course, we saw Varna saying he's got to kiss people's asses, Abby having a whinge. I loved it when Abby stepped in front of Tasha and she's like, "Tasha, I'm uncomfortable." And it's like, "Let's go speak in private." "No, I don't want to speak in private. Let's do it now." I mean, Abby kind of is a very interesting person that she just always wants to do it right then and there. But then we get the whole discussion going on. Is it going to be Wu? Is it going to be Varna? Abby's all gunning for Wu because he wrote my name down twice. I can't trust him. And then Tasha just getting so frustrated. I love the way she kept looking away as if to say like, "Oh my god, shut the fuck up." Just kept going on and on and on. And it just, to me, this whole sequence, I honestly thought the way it was being portrayed, it was so obvious that Wu was going home. Like, this is maybe dumb old Ben. I just thought they were just setting it up. Then at Tribal Council, we get, Wu and Varna saving themselves, and Varna just owning Wu, just absolutely owning him. And at the end of the day, it doesn't count. Fucking Varna goes home. Look, I just kind of summarised it really quickly, but there's a lot in the bits there that I didn't talk about. I'm going to start with you, Ryan. This whole Angkor situation, Varna going home.
Yeah, it was fascinating. I liked when they got back and they were probably doing the scramble. And I got a quote from Abby that said, "I'm going with the people that value my personality and what I bring to the table," which I found really fascinating because, it's not your personality. But in terms of the vote, like, it was really fascinating. I agree with you, Ben. I really thought that Wu was going to be going. I probably don't agree that Wu was horrible. I think he actually stood up for himself pretty good. I think this is probably the best I've seen Wu at a Tribal Council. Yes, Varna owned him, but I thought that he actually stood up for himself a little bit. But I thought Wu was on the chopping block, and I was surprised that Varna went in the end.
Pat?
Man, I am just sick and tired of Abby already. It's been 4 episodes, and she was only playing for herself and doesn't consider anyone else in her alliance. She just kept saying, "I can't trust Wu, I can't trust Wu." as if her entire alliance revolved around her. See, initially I was overlooking into it. I thought it was going to be, we had a little bit of Tasha being annoyed with them. I thought her and Savage were going to turn the tables on Abby and just like some epic blindside, but that was me getting my hopes up. In terms of Varner and not Wu, I was just shocked because of the edit Varner had. I'm not necessarily shocked that, based on the circumstance that Varner was voted out, but I was just more surprised based on his edit, and you thought that he was definitely going to be in it at least until the merge.
Well, just on that.
And in turn...
Oh, sorry, I thought you'd finished. Please continue. I apologize.
No, it's mine. And based on I just don't care for tribal councils like this. Like, tribal council has just turned into just like a dumping grounds, and this was the epitome of it. I didn't care for it at all.
Probst was big and long at that tribal council. He was loving it. Just
Savage was there.
Yeah, just quickly. I mean, I for one was screaming at the TV when Abby was, losing the chops and Tasha was at. And I mean, I love Tasha's quote. You say it's blue, she'll say it's yellow. But I mean, at that point, I'm thinking, yes, vote out Abby. There you go. Cut it out of the tribe right then and there. You can't trust her.
No.
Dumb move, Noah?
No way. Yeah, that would be the dumbest move they could ever do. She's so loyal to them. She's psychotic. She's Burko, but she is so loyal to them. Jeff Varner is the rat. Like, we smell a rat. He's scheming around.
But how can they think Abby's that loyal, though? Because I'm sure they got filled in on.
She voted off PG.
Yeah, but her previousness and how fickle she is, saying, "I don't know, Tasha, I don't want to do that." Wouldn't it just make sense to get rid of the swing vote at that point? Because she has shown and I'm sure they know about what she did to KO. PG would have told them about Shirin and probably how she was with Vetus as well. So I don't know. I think
but Jeff Varner was caught mouthing off to other tribes. Abby has
no. I get that.
I think it would be the worst move to keep Varner.
I think but compared to Abby and Varner, I think you're going to have more problems with Abby, Tasha, and fucking Savage will than they would with Varner. But who knows?
I agree with both of you. It's hard because I don't necessarily think Abby is the most loyal player in the world. I think Varner is a more loyal player, but they're both tricky people. Yeah, you go.
Well, I was just going to say, especially because I've just rewatched Philippines, but also this season, Abby is volatile. Abby has almost never turned on anyone in her alliance in both her seasons, besides RC and PG. She was Tandang strong the whole time. She was, I don't want to turn on you guys, I'm loyal. And this season, I'm loyal to you, Abby. And of course, she turned on Varner, but Varner was caught mouthing to the other tribe, and PG stole her bracelet. But Abby is a loyal player. Jeff Varner certainly is not.
Well, yeah, I see your point. But I don't know. I mean, Varner was loyal this season, was he not?
Well, he was caught mouthing off to the other tribe. He's loyal
that
to
doesn't mean necessarily he
not
wasn't that loyal, though. He didn't say that much to the other tribe. It doesn't really mean that he wouldn't have been loyal to the others as well.
And in all fairness to Varner, others could have been mouthing off, they just didn't show it or they didn't get caught.
Yes.
Well, maybe, but if they didn't get caught, then, yeah.
Are they still disloyal if they're mouthing off to another tribe, though, if they don't get caught?
What was that, sorry?
Are they still disloyal if they're mouthing to other players on another tribe but don't get caught?
Well, that's kind of a bit of a moral debate, isn't it?
Survivor Oz bringing morals into it. Said no one ever.
If I caught him out doing that, I would vote him out next if I was on that season. Oh, probably not because he's really entertaining, but yeah, I would vote him out straight away, especially because Abby Maria turned on them so quickly and was Savage and Tasha strong. I think keeping Varner is the worst move you could possibly ever make at this point.
Yeah, I guess at the end of the day, we can all bitch and moan about
Just
the fact that Varner... Well, the fact that Varner goes, it's the smart move to make in that situation because...
Especially over Wu as well. If they wrote out Wu, they would be the dumbest players ever. Even though I hate Wu. Well, I hate him, but...
I was just that whole time, the whole Abby situation, I think that maybe was my frustration. Well, just vote Abby out, was when, the whole time she's just thinking about herself, well, he voted for me twice. And, at the end of the day, of course, I ended up voting for Varner, the smart thing to do, because Tasha obviously wanted him gone. So to me, there's a bit missing there. There's something that we didn't get to see where Abby has purely sat down and said, okay, I'm voting for Varna. Like, there was a moment there that wasn't
every
there.
vote out in Survivor there's a bit missing.
Yeah, obviously that's the case. But what I mean is the way it's edited and portrayed in this episode to really be centric on the fact that Woo's going home and not Varna. I think that we just...
And Woo's speech, he seemed a bit like... I kind of agree with, I think, Julian and Ryan or whoever said it, that he was slightly impressive, but he seemed a bit like, oh, please, I'll be loyal. And, like, Varna was so, like, straight to the point that you're thinking, well, Varna, he's got this debate down. Woo sounds wishy-washy, but... Yeah.
Well, one is a martial arts instructor. The other is a TV host who is used to debating with people live on air, so... I think that's probably where that background comes from. We need to eulogise Varna. Oh, I didn't think we'd be doing it so early in the season. This is just not on. Like, come on. Woo, first of all, gets on the season and takes over fucking Shane Powers. And now Woo continues on over fucking Jeff Varna. Like,
is he just going to take out all our favourites all the way to the end?
If Woo takes out Kelly Wigglesworth, nah. I'm sick that week. I am swimming across the Pacific and doing something to his martial arts academy. Like I'll like poo on it and swim back. I don't know, but I'll poo on Woo. Julian.
What the hell? That was weird.
My god!
Good run.
I'm big Burko. Julian, let's eulogize Varna and poo on Woo.
Yeah, like the tough thing about this season is we are going to get to that point where there's so many people that we like and would rather stay in, but it's just not going to be the smart move for some of these players to keep. So we're going to have more of this, and like, yeah, I'm Devo that he went so early, but at the same time, like, at least, even though there's been uneven editing so far this season, at least we got a lot of him. Like, I mean, he was on the tribe that went to tribal council every time, but he gave us gold, and like, thank you, Jeff Varna, because it sucks that you're not going to be in a scene with Kimmy, and we could have seen so much more of you, but you're a man that the fan community just love, and we love you, Jeff. This
is where you make it worse, Julian, because like pre-season in every interview, like on our show and other shows and everything he did, he would talk up the Kimmy factor, like, oh, I'm going to get out there with Kimmy, and oh my God, so help me God if I get on a trial with her. Like, it was just like, oh, setting up, this is going to be gold, this is going to be perfect, and we don't even get to see this. Like, you know,
it's a travesty.
It's ridiculous. And one thing too, actually, it's funny, the amount of screen time that he get, like, he actually didn't get the most confessionals in an episode. So, like, in the 4 episodes he was, none of the episodes he actually got the most. So, but he did leave currently as the leader of most confessionals, if that makes sense. One thing, Ryan, I'll get your thoughts, but one thing I just want to quickly add is that as much as I love all returning players seasons, they are also the most nerve-wracking because you have your, like, favourites, and you are so, like, every week, like, oh, like, I never forget Heroes vs. Villains in those early days, like, when I think it was the one where Colby nearly went home over Tom, and, oh my God, I was, like, so, like, oh no, Colby's going home, and then he didn't, and then the Russell Rob one, when Russell, like, got saved, I was just like, yes! But, you know, we'll just wait and see how long Kelly lasts in this season.
Unless it's Shereen and Spencer, and then it's like, meh.
Well, yes, I would be semi-upset if Spencer went, but, you know, not as much as if it was a few other people in this season. Ryan, Jeff Varna.
Yeah, he had a fantastic run. I'd really be interested to see where it would rank in terms of probably the most impactful pre-merge games. He had a really fantastic 4-episode arc, and definitely he's someone who we would love to see back for a third time. So his game overall, he went from the top to the bottom and made it through 1 episode last week when I really thought he would be going. So yeah, it's really disappointing, especially when he went home against Woo. Clearly, we would have preferred to see Varna stay, and I think Varna and Abby together would have been really interesting for a few more episodes.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, next year in the Oscars, we will be up to... Are we up to the best 4th boot? Are we up to? Or are we 3rd boot this year?
Yeah, 4th.
Yeah.
So Varna's up for one. There we go.
John Pelliot 3rd.
That's right. Well, Noah, did you not mention to me that he holds the record for most confessionals after only 4 episodes? Is that correct?
in a 20-person season.
Okay.
Like Ramona and Mitchell both beat him because that was early days 16-person season.
Right, okay. Paddy G, what did
Ramona got more confessions.
Hashtag Ramona was robbed. Paddy G, dear old Varna.
Yeah, I really agree with Ryan on his story arc. It was definitely one of the most wild, bizarre story arcs you get from someone who's so far behind, someone who's leading the pack, who's just crazy as a human being. And I was just so surprised just because of how much airtime he's gotten. He had the most confessionals. Like, apparently he never had the most confessionals in a single episode, but his consistency, he was the guy this season, and I just stunned. I think he definitely goes down as the most memorable pre-jury player of all time, especially now that it's happened twice.
That's a good big call there. Interesting, actually, just looking at the 3 All-Star seasons, the 4th boots, very big names. Jeff Varner, Sari, and Rob Sesternino are our 4th episode boot getters on 4 All-Star seasons. So there you go. It's going to be a very bloody tough Oscars next year. Then if we're going to have Rob C, Sari, and Varner battling it out against all the other ones. So anyway, Noah, Varner.
I'm voting Ramona in the Oscars, but
I'm voting for Sarah.
Yeah, I don't know any. Oh yeah.
Oh no, Joanna Ward. Joanna Ward's up. Hello,
Drew.
Joanna Ward.
Got to be her.
I'm voting Drew.
I'm voting Mia.
Yeah, I don't think I know any. I'm voting JP for real this time.
I'm voting Ruth Marie.
All right, this game has got there.
Keep going.
I don't think I know any Survivor fan who wasn't rooting for Varner this season or didn't like him at all. Like, was there anyone who's like, "Oh, I can't stand Varner"? I don't think so. Yeah, as the others have said, his story arc was so well. I don't actually think he was that good of a player, but he was so excited to be out there, and he was loving everything that he did, and it was so entertaining. He's such a great narrator. But yeah, I've seen so many people online today saying that he'll be back for a 3rd time. I'm calling it now. We never see Jeff Varner on Survivor again. If they waited 14 years to have him back, and then he went out this early, I don't think they're rushing to have Varner back in 2 seasons' time or something like. Sadly, it breaks my heart. I think this is the last time we see of him. But yeah, he joins the Russell Swan Club now, and
the Jatia Club.
All the yeah, the Jatia Club?
The Drew Christie Club?
Well, Russell Swan, because he's a returnee who came back and was voted out 4th. Jatia was not a returnee.
I just meant the 4th place club, but no matter whatever. Okay.
Yeah, he joins the Russell Swan Club, never made the jury, voted out 4th on his 2nd time. And yeah, PG, Shirin, and Vita still made the jury, so this is even more heartbreaking and probably the most devastating vote out until Kelly Wigglesworth is voted out. Hopefully she's not, but still. Yeah, very upset.
Well, it's funny, actually, in terms because...
Yeah, Kelly, Kimmy, Keith, final 3.
A lot of people talked him up as a winner this season. I'll get to that in our predictions, not just from us, but I saw a lot of people pre-game were talking him up as the winner, so... Yeah, it's hard.
Because he was so excited to be out there. He didn't want to ruin his 2nd chance.
Well, just also quickly, Kimmy has the distinction now of trying to keep this record of the Australian Outback alive of making the top 4 in every single returning player season. So, good luck,
Please
Kimmy. I think we might be about to lose that record this season. Poor Kimmy. But yeah, that's it, Jeff Varner. Bye-bye. Ended with 16 confessionals, which is currently the highest of anyone so far right now, but doesn't count for anything when he's gone.
What was it that bit his ass?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes.
I also, a couple other things.
Exit interviews.
That's the one question. That's a Survivor Oz question. Do you like green buffs? But I think the best moment of the Tribal Council was when he was talking and that bug flew in his face and he's all like, Jeff, I'm gonna, oh fuck, and he runs into his head. And
that was
of course,
similar to Garrett and Kaguya.
Oh, we've got to mention as he's getting voted out, he gets up, hugs Abby. You little bitch. Then go.
He said it sweeter than that, though. It was like, you little bitch. Like,
Oh, that was so good.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, can you imagine if Dan had said that last season, the outroar that would have happened right about now?
yeah, I love how Varner can get away with it.
That's a good point.
Varner can get away with it. Anyway, all right. So we'll get into the final bits and that. Just quickly, in terms of confessionals of who's left in the game, Abby's leading right now. She's on 16 confessionals. Then I think Spencer is next on 13, if I'm not mistaken. And he's also leading Bion. And then we've got a couple on 12. Wentworth is on 12. Savage is on 12. Tasha's on 11. Wu is on 5. Oh, God. Wigglesworth is on 4. And Kimmy's on 2. Oh, my fucking God. Wu has more than Joe. How is that possible? Wu has like double the amount of oh, God. Stop now, Ben. Stop now. All right, let's look at our predictions and everything else, how that all played out. In our power rankings last week, I said...
My name is Anthony Brown, and this year I became a millionaire.
I've got people talking in my ears. Hang on a minute.
My name is Darren James, and...
Sorry for that. Just a brief break in transmission. People would have heard
Are you
that.
doing another podcast while we're doing
well, I thought... people, you guys had no idea what I just heard. The people listening to this
rude.
was like, hi, I'm
hearing
Anthony
voices
Brown.
again?
Well, I was hearing like, I'm Anthony Brown, and I'm like, who's Anthony Brown?
Rossi's on this podcast.
It's like, and I'm a millionaire. There was like an ad on one of these... Fuck. Anyway.
You've officially
Why
lost
is
your
he
mind.
bragging?
I don't care if he's a millionaire. Get off my internet. Our
Show your money.
Varna, I said was 14th. You said 15th, Noah, but Colin and Jared get the point because they each said he was 16th in their rankings, so that was closest. So, Noah, you're still leading. You're on 2 points. Colin's on 2 points. I'm on 1. And Jared finally has a point. Yay! Said nobody. In the sweep, let's see. Who got eliminated? Oh, speaking of Rossi. Bye, Rossi! He's
no loss.
Lost his money. He was just like, oh, whatever. Flossy. So let's see who's in still. Julian, Spencer, how you feeling?
Pretty good actually. Like I'm a bit nervous for next week, but I'm pretty stoked because I really thought he was going the week with Shirin. So I was like, second boot, Spencer. Yeah, go Spencer. I'm fine. It's really weird, Ben. I'm finding him a little bit like I hated him in season 28, but now I'm kind of finding him a bit cute even. So it's quite disturbing.
Don't get too close, Julian. He won't say he loves you.
Oh, I know. But that was that was endearing. Like, it's a weird feeling being endeared by Spencer, and it's just like, oh, fuck, what is going on?
Oh, my God, he can't commit and say he loves you. I'm so into him.
No, he's just so earnest, and he's so goofy, and I don't know, like, I'm trying to have feelings like this game, you know? And, I don't know, he's a bit forced, but I think he's really trying, and I think he could go far. So
basically, Julian loves vampires. That's his type. Like they don't have feelings, but they want to try and get a soul. So,
well, Spencer does need a tan. So yeah, he's a bit of a vampire.
Let's call Spencer a vampire. No sucking jokes, Noah. Ryan, you've got Sierra. Did you know she's on this season?
Yeah, I didn't know she was still on the season. I thought she was already gone.
Yes. Well, so you're feeling confident that you might get nothing?
I'm feeling confident that she could probably just make it to the end as a goat, but that's about it.
She still has a shot. I think. Don't rule her out just.
Hey, my goat money's coming with Abby. Pat, how are you feeling with Koi?
I'm just so sad that we don't see enough of Keith. I'm not gonna make it. I'm not getting money. I just want to see him.
And Noah, how's your $10? Oh, your 20? Actually, no. How much was it? 20. Well, you still owe me something.
I owe you money. No?
Yeah, well, I owed you money. Then I bought your movie ticket, and you owe me money.
Don't know how that works. That now I owe you money for winning.
I bought your ticket to Spectre. Spectre. Download 007 via iTunes. So you're fine. You're just you don't need to talk. I've got.
No, at least it wasn't fifth boot.
I've got Abby. So yep. All right. Now our preseason predictions. Let's see here. Varna. Ryan, you said he would be 12th.
So you're winning right now. Patrick, you said he would also be 12th. Ooh, it's close.
Oh, you dick.
Julian, I don't have any predictions from you, so you're not in this game. Noah, you said he'd be 19th, so you're winning. I said he would be 8th, so I am not in this anymore.
Your spoilers have stopped now.
Yeah, no, they ran out after a few. I'm not going to go through everyone. Just the people of our... Tom said he would be first. Clinton said he would be first, so they're well off. The two people who get the points this week, Gabrielle and Jordan, both said he would be 18th. So they are closest, so they both get a point. So currently, I'm still leading on 4. Pat's on 2. Gabriel and Jordan are each on 1 apiece. Okay, final questions. Tip to win this game right now, Paddy G.
I've got to go with Jeremy.
Jeremy, all right. Ryan?
Yeah, I'm the same. Pre-game Jeremy and still on Jeremy.
Julian?
Yeah, I have to say Jeremy too. I don't know who would be a second really at this point even, so better Jeremy than Savage, I say.
Grovelicious?
I hope it's not true, but they keep putting her in, like you said, and maybe it's just because she's an important player down the road and not necessarily makes the finals, but I hope it's not true, but I think Wentworth could take it.
Oh, God, I hope so. That'd be like the first time I've ever correctly predicted something ever. Dark Horse, Noah?
Maybe we'll say Tasha for this one. She has a shot. Probably not, but anyway.
Julian, you're Katy Perry.
I think you guys will probably laugh at this, but I'm going to say Monica, actually. I think that she could get to the end and she could win it, like, non-threatening. They could all eat each other up and she could just be left standing. So it's still very, very early, I think. But, we haven't seen very much from her, but, yeah, we'll see.
Ryan?
I'm going to go with Keith.
Keith?
Oh, yeah.
Pat?
I'll go Steven.
All right. Next to go, Pat.
Oh, boy, next to go. I'll say Spencer.
Vanna was robbed. That's Noah's name on Skype, by the way. I wasn't just saying that.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I was just agreeing with you. He was. This is something we didn't really touch on, and I don't want to dwell on it, but we probably should have talked about it. I actually think Abby Maria is going to go over Wu. I think they're going to keep Wu because he's strong and not as volatile. So even though Wu's on the outs a bit, I think Abby will be voted out over the top of him because she's crazy. Or what was it? Burko. So I think Ankor's going to keep losing and Abby Maria will go.
Julian?
Yeah, if Ankor go to tribal, I think it will be Abby or Spencer.
Ryan?
I think the edit was kind of leading towards a buy-on, so I'm going to go with Monica.
Now, player most like, I don't think I've asked Julian. Ryan, have you been on an Oztopsy this season? I forget.
No, not yet.
All right, so both of you then. Julian and Ryan, player on this season that is playing most like how you would play Survival. Let's go with you first, Ryan.
Probably Stephen Fishback.
And Julian.
I would say the same. Yeah, Stephen.
All right.
Definitely.
Cool bananas. Hashtag for this episode and hashtag for this episode of Survivor Oz. Julian.
Burko bitch. And...
Sounds like a burger.
Yum.
Burko bitch. Introducing new Burko bitch. She's Brazilian. And she's fiery.
Hot and spicy.
What was that burger we had, Julian, in Brisbane? I had macaroni and cheese on it.
Yeah, it had pickle. Oh, yeah, that was Miss K's burger.
That was good.
We didn't get... Did you get the macaroni one?
I got the one with macaroni and cheese on it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I had the diarrhea the next day from those burgers, so I must say.
Great.
Thanks for that.
So, Miss K's, everybody, in Brisbane. It's a popular burger joint.
Get your diarrhea fix. I have no idea.
Cleanses your body.
Sorry, I just completely took you out of it there, literally. Hey, those chips that we got were quite nice. They had like the cheese and the Yeah, anyway, we're catching...
I've just been eating a lot of burgers lately, so it's all a burger blur, really.
Julie and I are catching up.
Ben, I'm feeling cheated on. What happened to Bill?
Hey, you and I will always have Build-A-Burger. Ryan, basically how this works, you haven't been here, so yeah, hashtag, you're going to give us a hashtag for this episode of Survivor Oz and a hashtag for the episode of Survivor.
Yeah, I like Julian's, but I might go for hashtag who the hell voted for Woo.
Yeah, that's always appropriate, no matter what the circumstances. Unless when he gets voted out, and we'll be like, yay, who gives a fuck? They all voted for Woo! Pat.
For the episode of Survivor, I Can't Hear, and for the Oztopsy, Big and Long.
That was going to be actually our tagline for Survivor Oz, but yeah. It would have been a lie. Noah.
For this one, hashtag poo on Woo. And for the episode of Survivor, I was going to say hashtag big and long. What else happened? Hashtag cuddly Cass.
Oh, no, since we don't have time for Guess the Song Zachary Chong, because, well, we're not live and he can't hear it, I'm going to end out with, I don't know if anybody of you here watched the Chris Lilly show Angry Boys, and it had S. Mouse, and he actually had the song on that called Poo on You.
No.
So we're going to end it with Poo on You.
I'm glad you're going with that song. This could have gone really bad if you'd picked a different song.
No, I'm going to be choosing Poo on You in tribute to Poo on Woo. And Guess the Song Zachary Chong will return in approximately 2 weeks when we're live again.
Hopefully not.
Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Apologies we're not live, but we're still here, so that's how it works. Now, our recap of this week. Now, a few people were wondering why we haven't posted anything about it, because
Bring back Billy.
As of Thursday night, 10:13 p.m., I don't know who it is, because we've reached out to 2 people who were semi-booked in, and I haven't heard back from them yet. So we are possibly bringing forward next week's recap a week earlier, and hoping that we'll be able to sort it out. Because one of the people that were scheduled for this week would be perfect. So we're just hoping that she will get back to me. That she being Tina Wesson. So hopefully we will hear back from her very, very shortly. In the meantime, just stay up to date. Otherwise, yeah, Billy might be back again. So not that there's anything wrong with that. Julian, thank you very much for joining us, and you and I will have a burger again soon.
Yes, we will, Ben. Thanks for having me. Good to be here and talk Survivor.
Noah, you and I will also build a beather together burger soon.
Yeah, I'm getting a bit jealous, but yes, thank you. Still trying to cope with Varna going home today. It's devastating.
Ryan, keep up your qualifying lap. Thank you very much.
No problem.
And Pat, thank you for being big and long.
Thank you.
And as always, my name is Ben. Thank you for tuning in to Survivor Oz. We will speak to you next week on The Trains.
Poo on You.
I've got to kiss their asses.
Deep, big and long.
Keith, drop! Keith, drop!
I can't hear.
Turn around, Terry! Yeah, we need help! I'm yelling at someone else!
I can't hear. I can't hear.
Deets, like the guy at the party that no one will talk to, waiting for an invitation to dance. This challenge will kick your butt.
Ow!
Hey!
Oh. Ow!
Okay. God!
The line's so bright.
It's unbelievably scary. I'm ready to fall over. Can't think.
Butt on your face and poo on you.
A little bit.